It was highly requested that I show an extended version of my own personal hirsutism wax session and talk about my journey. Hi, I'm Reacee Wright, a licensed esthetician, and I too have hirsutism. I'm going to do my wax session using abolished wax, so let's go. So first I start out with clean skin because you're just supposed to start out with clean skin anyway, and I have oily skin, so I'm definitely removing all of the excess oil so that the wax can adhere. I'm using the cleanser by Satin Smooth. It comes with their wax kit. I love it. It smells good and it's really, really refreshing to the skin and gentle on the skin. This is what my hirsutism looks like. It may not look like yours or it may look like yours, but this is it. And so my hairs are like really short. They're still a little thick and a little wiry, but not too bad. Like it's nowhere where it used to be. So when I do find that picture, if I find that picture, I'll insert how it used to look, but it was really, really thick. My skin was thick and leathery, like the hairs were so coarse. I shaved every single day, not knowing that shaving is so terrible for your skin, especially if you're a woman of color, a person of color. Doing shaving is just not good. And so I have my own reasons, my personal reasons why I kind of am an advocate against shaving. But to each his own. You do what you have to do, what works best for your lifestyle. But I'm using abolish in this wax session, of course, because it is very durable. It does what it needs to do. Now look right here. You can see I have a lot of vellus hair on my cheeks. I try not to wax that. I try not to wax above a certain point on my face because knowing that I may likely have a hormonal imbalance, hence the hirsutism, I don't want to agitate or stir up anything. So those little fine vellus hairs, generally you won't see them on my face unless you're as close as I am in this video. So I don't try to stir up those hairs by tampering with them and just getting them going through a process. So that's why you won't ever see me wax it. And I always advise my clients to not touch those areas. Now, if they want me to get it, I will get it, but I still will let them know, like, hey, if it's, nobody's going to see this. They would have to be magnified 25 times to be looking at you that close. But if you stand on the other side of the room, they're not going to see those hairs. Only you're going to see them because, of course, you're like right smack dab in front of a camera or smack dab in front of a mirror. But just think about that. Just ask somebody to stand on the other side of the room or a few feet away. And if they can't see it, don't touch it. And also, people will get this dermaplane. And I always say that if you are a person who has hirsutism, PCOS, or any type of hormonal imbalance, I just don't even recommend dermaplaning because that is shaving essentially, right? And so you don't want to start shaving those hairs. Now, sometimes I like to keep my sideburns because I'll put a little gel on them, a little edge control, and stick them down and do all that with my hairstyles. So I don't wax them often. Like you can kind of see where it's real thick and then it gets thin. I will wax like right up under my sideburns sometimes, and sometimes I don't. One thing that I wish I hadn't done was shave it though, because it used to be real slick. And it laid down and it didn't have that curly texture to it until after I started shaving. So I do kind of regret ever putting a razor to my sideburns. And also, I will say, so you don't have to point it out, that I did not get all of the hairs, especially those like along my jawline and right at the beginning edge of my neckline. I didn't get those hairs, and at the end of the video I saw those little 3 hairs, and I was like, it made me cringe that I didn't get them watching the video. But honestly, in person, I like in real life, I don't care if I don't get 100% of the hairs, because I'm just to that point in my own personal growth and acceptance and self-love and stuff. So of course I'm gonna get it if it, like, when I rub my chin and it's a lot of hair, I'm to the point where, like, okay, it's time for the waxing. But I'm honestly not waxing myself but like every 40-50 days sometimes. Like, I'm not really like needing to wax very often because, one, I've been waxing for so long that the hairs are mostly dead. The follicles are mostly dead. That's why I have a lot of patches, like a lot of naked patches on my chin and in my jawline area, because I've killed the follicles off, so it doesn't really bother me. Versus back when I was shaving and I was like covered in hair from ear to ear, neckline to neckline, jawline to jawline. I was covered in hair, but now because of consistent waxing, it has killed off a lot of the follicles. So I don't grow hair as, as much. So it doesn't really bother me as much. What does bother me though, sometimes, is the pigmentation. So if I'm like going out or have some type of event or something I'm going to do, or even church on Sunday, I will cover it up with makeup. And I've gotten it really clear before. It's just I haven't been consistent, and this is an example of what happens when you're not consistent. So one thing that I do understand and know through my own trial is that you can use the lightening products and you can do all your regimens to get your skin bright, but you have to keep it up. You have to remain consistent even when your skin finally clears, because you have hirsutism and the hair is actively growing. Whether it's growing minimally or maximally, you have to still do the exfoliation and brightening regimen, or else, you know what I'm saying, the pigmentation will come back again, because as the hair is growing and poking through the skin, it will essentially make your brain release more melanin, thinking that trauma is happening to your skin. So I started growing facial hair around the age of 14. That's the earliest age that I remember. I can't for the life of me think what kind of hair did I see that told me I needed to put a razor to it, because if it looked at anything like the hair on my cheeks, I wish I can go back to that day and be like, you know what, girl, can't nobody see this but you, and I would have left it alone. But something was like, you need to put a razor, you need to shave it. And so I was advised by my brother not to shave it, and I'm like, he don't know what he talking about. And so disobedience come with a price. I put a razor to my face, and it was just a downhill situation from there. Now I'm depending on the razor. Now I'm doing damage to my skin. And from 14 all the way to age 31, I believe, is when I started aesthetic school and a half, because we didn't get to wax until about halfway through the program. So for 15 years, I shaved daily. And that is why my skin looked as bad as it did. I hope I can find that picture to insert. I believe I have a picture that shows how I healed my skin using the skin script glycolic and retinol pads, how I really got rid of all the pigmentation. And so honestly, they work amazingly. I just have not been consistent, which I'm going to start back up, because I want to show others that it's possible, even though I'm in a place now like where I really don't care personally, like it doesn't really hinder me, because I know I can just put a little makeup on over it or whatever, and just go on about life. Because I'm about to be 40. So I'm just like, it is what it is. But look, I've reached the end of this video. So if you want me to talk more about this, about my personal journey and just some things that I learned through trial and error, just comment down below. I was so happy though, I ain't gonna lie, because it gets rid of some darkness too, because wax and exfoliate. Also, I did wax my lip, like I said in the beginning. I'll show that in another video. Comment below if you want to see it. See you later. Bye-bye.